Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back for another one of our Patreon monthly one-shots. This one's a little bit earlier in the month than usual, and this one's a little bit different than usual. Before I jump exactly into why it's different, if you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is just like these fine folks over on our Patreon, link down below, and I will implore you, head over there. Join at the free tier at a minimum. There has been some recent new content under the free tier vis-a-vis the recaps I've been doing for my personal home game. And I have been coerced into doing recaps for one of our other seasons, one of our other campaigns that the first two seasons were not streamed. So those will be coming on soonish. So go check that out. Join us at the free tier. Get all kinds of cool perks from that. There's like some polls occasionally. There's a bunch of stuff on there. Go check it out. And then go follow us on all the socials. I will say there's a corruption bar at the bottom right. I'm not going to emphasize that at all this episode because this is going to be a different episode than usual. It's going to be that because we are playing, well, we are doing a session 0 for a brand new RPG called Starscape. This is currently in super mega double triple alpha. And it's going to be coming to Kickstarter soon. It is made by Golden Lasso Games, written, I think, almost entirely by Kimmy from Golden Lasso Girl over on the Twitters. Golden Lasso Games, also Happy Jack's RPG. Go check out all those fun things. And let me jump in and give some explanations of what this is. And I'm going to read it verbatim from here. So this is, what is Starscape? Starscape is the found family story of a crew, their ship, and their journeys through space. Game sessions focus on a core set of characters who unite to work together for a shared purpose, even as their differences, intergalactic politics, enemies, employers, and the challenges of living in space drive them apart. Individual game sessions might focus on overcoming obstacles or facing threats, but long-term, the stories are about the crew's relationships and how their trust and feelings change over the course of their travels. Starscape is inspired by Star Trek, Farscape, Firefly, Battlestar Galactica, Babylon 5, and A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. In Starscape, you play as someone living aboard a ship in space, along with a crew made up of your fellow players. Together, you create a character, a ship, a bit of shared history, and then play to find out if you come together when it matters most, or fracture when faced with the challenges of an unpredictable universe. So, this is a space opera? I feel like it's more character-focused, so it would be more on the opera side of things. But yeah, it is less of an action-packed spy thriller and more of, the onboard ship feels of Farscape, or when the crew comes together and has that terrible lasagna at the end of a mission in The Expanse, right? It focuses far more on how the crew feel about each other at any given point in time. And it has a very interesting mechanic, which is an additional mechanic to this system, which is primarily based on the Powered by the Apocalypse system. It has a function called trust, and each character has a trust meter, and you can wager that trust to do big moves or combined crew moves. So yeah, trust plays a big part in this. So we're going to go through the session 0. We have a little bit of a quick start here. And again, this is coming to Kickstarter. So go check out Golden Lasso. I believe it's Golden Lasso RPG. Golden Lasso RPGs with an S. Go check that out. Follow along. It is coming to Kickstarter. I want to say like Tuesday, like the 9th, I believe. So go July 9th, 2024. Go check that out. So we're going to be going down the quick start, which will be available in the Kickstarter, I believe. So step 1, as a group, discuss what basic norms you'd like everyone to follow. Some norms that might be helpful to discuss are schedule, eating and drinking, computer games, whatever, right? All that fun stuff at the table. We don't have to discuss that here because we are a relatively established group. We have a set of rules for our one-shots. So step 1, in the bag. Step 2, build your game universe and setting using the guide starting on universe building page 8. So the book comes with how to build your own universe, but I am over the top. I've already built an extensive universe. I think all of these, all of the people here are in my, that's true. Everyone here is in my other space Western game called Between the Wasteland and Sky, and I have created an entire space universe called New Eden. So we will be playing in New Eden. I am familiar with this. All of the people here are familiar enough with this because they helped build that world already. So, step 2, in the bag. Step 3, now let's...
Can I interrupt you there, Mike?
No.
All right.
Yes.
Melissa, please do.
All right, so if I'm remembering correctly, it's not just that we need to choose that this is a space western or something else. We also need to choose the type of crew that we are in that section. So there's 3 different types of crews. There's trained service members, independent operators, or fortune's fools. So we're looking at... I can't find the page numbers on this.
Oh yeah, you're correct. You are. I'm wrong.
Right off the
bat. Technically correct. The very best kind of correct.
Yes. So trained service members. So choose one to describe your crew. Trained service members. You have been trained by an influential organization, but are mostly autonomous. Choose this if your crew comes together to handle situations with far-reaching impacts such as diplomatic missions, intergalactic politics, rescuing whole civilizations, exploring, and going where no one has gone before. Independent contractors. You are your own bosses and take jobs as you get them. Select this if you want to deal with smaller scale stories involving the financial and moral challenges of day-to-day life as spacers. Your goal is simple: find a job and keep flying. Or Fortune's Fools. Chance or fate has forced your group together and you are making the best of it, despite the complications. Select this option if you want to deal with the challenges of maintaining a shared purpose for your crew while you bounce around the galaxy. Are you being hunted? Are you looking for someone or something? Or maybe you're just doing everything you can, looking for a way home. So,
I'm struggling a little bit between what the difference is between the independent operators and the trained service members. Do y'all have thoughts on that?
I thought more like the trained service members is like, let's say we're an army unit for like the Space Force flying on missions.
Yeah,
while
like
independent
SG-1.
operators, while independent operators are more like Han Solo in Star Wars. Like, yeah, I can fly with your side if you pay me enough.
Yeah, that's Serenity basically. Option 2 is Serenity Firefly basically.
Yeah.
So in Waste Sky, we're kind of independent operators, I think, right?
Yes.
I like that. That's been the code name now. Is Waste Sky.
Waste Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Waste Sky.
Which
It's
I'm
the
pretty
best
sure.
name.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Iquin came up with that one.
You want us to change?
That's
to
why
waste
the best
disposal?
name.
I mean, we are bounty hunters, so it could also be waste disposal.
That's true.
Hang on.
Yeah, I think between the Wasteland and Sky, your crew of the Stellar Nomad would be more like independent operators. I think you guys would be a cross between independent operators and Fortune's Fools, right?
Yeah.
I think the ship itself, so like the ship, the captain, and the pilot would probably be more independent operators, right? And then the rest of you that sort of got smashed together would sort of be Fortune's Fools, which is I think it's more or less how I see the Firefly episode 1 going, right? Like Mal, Wash, Wash's
Zoe.
wife, who I can't think. Zoe, thank you. And Zoe and the kid. The crew.
River.
The crew of the ship are independent
Kaylee.
operators. Yes, the crew of the ship are independent operators. But then when they pick up the doctor, they pick up book. And all the people they pick up, they become Fortune's Fools, which is kind of how I see the Stellar Nomad.
Yeah.
So for this game, my thought around this is that Fortune's Fools is like a little bit too chaotic for like one shot. So like it seems like you would want something that's more like has a tighter framework. So I'd do either independent operators or trained service members. What are y'all thinking?
I'm actually I kind of am leaning towards trained service members.
Me too.
And along that same lines.
Okay. Because I was like the other way. I was going independent operators. But sorry, go ahead.
So my thought was, if we are, crew members on the USS Enter Booby Prize flying for the United Conglomeration of Planets or what have you. I think that lends itself a little bit more to the more episodic, the way those Star Trek series started out before.
You're sent on a mission kind of thing, so
Yeah.
that it can be easily encapsulated in a single.
Mike gets to play the military bigwig that he deserves to be.
Which would be so interesting, right? Because we're this is completely tangential, but we're playing in Between the Wasteland and Sky, and the way that we have, or we're playing in New Eden, and the way that we have for sure set up that world is that the government, who would be in charge of doing trained service members, are objectively the bad guy.
Yeah.
So in essence, you are at best unwitting bad guys, and at worst actively bad guys.
Are we the baddies?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Well, there is a skull on my T-shirt, but
there you go.
Oh, Skull Squadron. No, I do have a thought about being independent operators, because I was leaning that way. And yes, the same thing with the sort of episodic adventuring part, but I saw it as, rather than missions you sent out of, it's jobs that you do, and it's the episodic. I could go any way. I'm not super, but I was more leaning into, especially since in the background we did talk amongst ourselves to use the Wasteland and Sky setting, which means that the government is the objectively bad guy. So for my sake, I would rather be the independent contractors. Just, we need to keep flying, and I mean, if the government pays good enough and the job is like, in that right part of the moral gray area, sure, we can work for the government. I mean, we'll backstab him tomorrow.
Yeah. Or it could be, one of those, the old sci-fi trope of, we are sent on a mission that turns to be under false pretenses. Yeah. And now we have the moral quandary of, do we finish the job and get paid, or do we do the right thing?
Oh, that medicine episode in Firefly.
Okay.
I love that one.
So I think here's the option, right? Here's so I see both sides of the trained servicemen versus independent operators, and I can see where there are similarities, like Melissa had said. Here's what I'll say. In trained service members, someone, either one of you or me as an NPC, must be a captain of the ship, right? Under independent operators, less so. It's more of a sort of, not exactly like a free-for-all, but sort of more of a, like, we all agree on a diplomatic, like, yeah, we're going to take this mission, versus the captain, whether that is an NPC or one of you says, this is what we're doing, fall in line, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, given that aspect, what would you prefer? No captain or yes captain?
I mean, I think I could go either way on captain. I'm more interested in focusing on, like, are we part of the military or are we not? Because if we're part of the military, then we are kind of like the bad guys, even though, like, the best bad guys think that they're the good guys, you know what I mean?
Very interesting people. They don't play villains.
Very interesting people, yep.
Exactly.
Intriguing storylines.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not super set on a captain, though I could go with one. So I'm kind of in Melissa's camp. I'm more about, like, are we the best bad guys or are we the worst good guys?
Exactly.
Yeah, I can
That's
see.
Perfect.
Yeah,
We've already done the latter.
All right,
Okay.
Let me propose that we go ahead and do trained service members, because I feel like in the other game we're already playing independent operators, so maybe we do something a little different.
True.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. I like it.
I can buy that. And then worst case scenario, if everyone wants to sort of run amok, I will make an NPC captain, and that will serve as, like, the person giving you the missions, but then won't actually be on whatever mission you're going on, right?
And
Now,
our
Mike,
first
you don't
episode
make you don't make that captain. We do.
No,
Mike.
but I'll play the captain.
You'll play it.
Yeah.
So,
This is the best ever.
okay, how many of you have ever played Shadowrun?
Nope. Seen it,
no.
never played it.
Okay, so there's a mechanic where the group of Shadowrunners get their assignments from a nebulous, faceless contact that is only known as Mr. Johnson.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, like, instead of Mike, you playing the captain, then you're more like our Mr. Johnson, and we're the ones on the ship.
Okay. Well, I agree. Melissa did point out there is a section where you all actually build the captain together.
Yeah.
So we'll put that. We'll shelve that for now, or as Greg says, we'll put a pin in that for now. And I will read this passage from the actual book here. It says, "The captain problem. Many players like the idea of being a captain, but in practice, it can actually drain a lot of the fun from an RPG experience. Giving one person the pressure of making the majority of the important choices, while their fellow players are expected to just follow commands. Alternatively, Starscape provides an NPC captain mechanic that allows for the game to have a more important central figure for role-playing purposes, played by the GM, but keeps the agency and choice in the player's hand. The group will collectively create the captain, and the captain's actions will be based on the trust of the players." So we'll check that out when we get there. But that's not for later. So the next step is building your ship. So it says, now it's time to build your ship. The ship is not just a vehicle to the crew, it is your home. Choose the ship playbook that you want for your setting and collaboratively build it with the choices available on that sheet. Check out the Create Your Ship page and fill in all the options. So let's check out the Create Your Ship page. I believe you guys haven't seen this yet, but I actually have a ship character sheet here, which may take away some of the nuance of building these. But... Under Build Your Ship, it says start with the ship playbook. So we don't actually have all of these ship playbooks yet because the game is still in development and will be coming to Kickstarter with all those fun things fleshed out. But what I do have is I have one of the playbooks for the ship, the Light Freighter. Let me see. Can I?
I just love that we get to build both the ship and an NPC for Mike to play, and it's this group. It's gonna be amazing.
I just threw a copy of the Light Freighter into our Discord for all of you to take a quick look at.
I found his amount of faith disturbing.
So, you basically run through the character sheet for the ship and you check things off, right? So, the first thing is the name of the ship, which is always the hardest thing. So you guys can noodle on that, and we'll come back to that at the end.
This sounds like Dilbert. Have you seen that the first step is the name, and it's like, no, you have the slides in reverse. Doesn't like to be corrected, so they have to build a whole thing from the name, and it's like, no, backwards.
So for the Light Freighter, we pick 3 from the description of the ship. Our options are customized, well-kept, elegant, worn, deceptive, welcoming, mismatched, or clunky. So we get to pick 3 of those options.
Always deceptive. The Millennium Falcon dictates that it should look like the biggest hunk of junk in the galaxy, but actually be really quite good.
Okay.
So does that mean that it should also be well kept?
Yeah, I was going with that. Since
elegant.
if we're gonna be a soldier unit, it should be well kept.
Yeah.
Anyone who's seen anything about military knows that anything they do is cleaning. Like everything, 80% is cleaning.
And
You're
swabbing
not
the deck,
wrong.
which is Navy for floor.
Okay, so well kept. It sounds like well kept is a definite answer. Well kept. Do we have any other votes?
Deceptive.
Deceptive. Okay, well kept. Deceptive. And one more. Our options are customized,
What are you
elegant.
thinking,
Customized because someone has got to have painted the shark teeth on the snow cone, on the nose cone.
I thought we were the Skull Squadron. I mean, you have the shirt.
Oh yeah. Big laughing flaming skull on the front. I like
Trevor,
it.
any weigh-ins?
So I'm actually kind of going off of what Eichmann said. If we are attached to I forget the name of the government, the Fane.
Fane.
In Waystone, I see them as kind of, they put up a really good front. And so everything they do is intended to be impressive and, almost overbearing and things like that. So I'm thinking elegant.
Okay. I like how you reframed elegant, because that was not at all what I was interpreting that word to mean in that context, but I can absolutely see that from that perspective. Okay. I like that. Yeah, I was thinking elegant as in like extravagant. But you're thinking of like elegant as in like down to the last detail. Everything is done with thought.
Well, so
So
actually,
do we-
it kind of both, actually. Because if again, if we are acting as representatives of Fane, one of their, at least as I see it, one of their primary objective is always to look professional, look official, look like they are the right thing.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I was going with elegant, more than like well organized. It can be a hunk of junk, but it looks like a really good hunk of junk.
Well, since we want the ship to be in good shape, and we want to represent it as being, impressive, thus elegant. Do we want to go with customized, well kept, and elegant rather than with deceptive?
Well, that's true because we are flying like the colors of the empire, as it were.
Well, if we're smuggling contraband on the side, we're gonna walk through customs whistling a merry tune.
The other side of that, and again, it depends on how you interpret deceptive, but if we have some kind of stealth technology for those missions that Fane doesn't want to be so public, but still needs to get done.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could be deceptive in that way.
And circling back to names, I'm listening to Space Oddity by David Bowie. Could we not be the Fane Bowie, as in the knife?
Nice.
That's where David Bowie got his name from.
All right, I'm gonna write that down as an option. That's a good.
Fane Bowie. Yeah.
That's a good.
That was a good one.
Fane Bowie. That's a good. I like that. Okay. All right. So captain, we've already decided is an NPC captain. Crew size, clearly. Actually, I'll put that to you guys. Do you want to have it just you, or do you want to have a medium-sized crew with a buttload of NPCs on there?
Well, I mean, we could do with like filling out all of the essential shipboard roles that one of us can't cover. Because my sort of idea for my character was going to be Daniel Jackson, and it's just like, well, he's already a member of SG-1. They're an elite military unit. I can work with that. Okay. But beyond sort of like studying ancient cultures, shooting bad guys, and nerd rage, we might need like an engineer,
okay,
as well as a captain.
Any other thoughts? Just you guys, or a crew of 2 to 19 people?
2 to 19. I was gonna ask, like, how big was the ship, because it's a lot of text. But so up to 19 people.
Yeah, 2 to 19. It's you guys plus 2 to 19 is the options.
The idea that Phil put forward of just backfilling whatever roles we don't happen to fill in. So like TBD, the number of NPCs based on what we make as PCs.
I was also gonna ask, what kind of crew do we want to be? Like, are we a special ops unit, black ops unit? I mean, the crew size would differ wildly. If we're a black ops unit, it would be kind of like us and barely skeleton crew, because you don't want a bunch of people running around doing black ops.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think, and I'll come back to that in a minute. One of the other things that I wanted to bring up was, if we're going to be, the stereotypical away mission or equivalent, we're going to need someone to run the ship.
Yellow shirt. Sorry.
Yes, we're going to need someone to run the ship while we're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we saw that already in the first episode Game of Waste Sky, right? Where like our crew had to actually stay on board the ship when we're boarding the other ship, and then how did we even manage that? So so if we all want to be in on the action, we need to have a full crew to maintain the ship.
Okay.
I would say, like, just for my sake, like how I would imagine it is that we would have a smaller crew than, so that you, like we said, only the bare bones to keep the ship running while we're not there. Because that opens up a lot to be like, either we could do official missions, sure, but we could also go like doing more of the Black Opsy stuff without having too much of an issue of like, oh, we have 19 other dudes that need to keep their mouths shut. Then we have like 2 or 3 other dudes that need to keep their mouths shut.
You know what You know what they say about loose lips sinking ships.
So
Yeah, exactly.
I'll put down a medium crew.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
medium keys.
Hey, Chad has like some great thoughts on this. Like
Yeah.
having the other crew members, the other NPCs are actually the other patrons that will play in this series.
Oh.
Love it.
G
Yep.
G okay. So G put this forward, and G is just secretly trying to turn every one shot into a tiny campaign. I'm convinced that G just wants every goddamn one shot I run to just secretly be a campaign, so that she gets to play into 17 campaigns. So okay, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean we have to put the price of the Patreon up 17 times?
Yeah.
Sorry, G.
Medium crew is patrons. Okay. Fucking Christ.
So we want to have 9 crew members in total then, us
Yeah.
included.
Yeah, but plus captain.
Okay.
Yeah, but the
Because
captain
we
is
know
not
when-
counted in this.
Yeah.
So
Captain is
9
special.
plus captain. Okay.
Since the captain could be like, you know, you go away and do my stuff, like we discussed, then the captain is kind of a special.
Yeah. Love that.
Mike, where did you end up with the descriptions? Which 3 did you choose? I don't know what.
I went with well kept, deceptive, and elegant. The ones you all said
Okay.
previously.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
All right. So for
Black
crew-
Ops. I want this to be Black Ops. Deceptive.
let's do it.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, hell,
I
you could
love
also
how you
be-
went from not military to let's be Black Ops.
Yeah.
Hey, if I'm gonna roll, I roll fast.
All right. So the next step for this is propulsion, which I'm going to go ahead and answer for all of you. Propulsion. It's combustion engines, because that's what we run on in New Eden.
As long as we can add some diesel decks to the ship.
Yeah.
Just like instead of going to the gym, go for a nice leisurely walk through the diesel decks.
There you go. All right, defenses. Our option for defenses are armored hull, flares or decoys, or no defenses.
Decoys does sound like it goes with our deceptive.
Now, I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna put something out here, right? I know I'm the GM, but I'm a player of the table. I'm gonna give you guys some ideas.
Sure. Yeah.
No defenses sounds risky as hell, right? I said no defenses, and I watched Melissa's face. However, here's how I'm gonna spin that to make it a viable option for you guys. We don't need no stinking defenses. You guys are
We are
just
the weapon.
that good that you would never be caught in a way that you would need defenses.
Black
I'll
Ops,
put that
baby.
up. Choice.
We can't have defenses. Everyone can see defenses. If you don't have defenses, you're not a threat. Black Ops.
Wait, I did that? What? Why is this even a choice?
That's just in there. I don't know.
I mean, like, you could have nothing or you could have something. Having something makes more sense.
I think
Well,
the,
I guess-
only other option.
Decoys.
It could be.
I like
if you're playing in
Armored
a
hull.
so I would say if you're playing in a campaign or a game or whatever, that like dogfights in space are not the thing, right? If we don't need defenses if we are only doing like peacekeeping missions or like delivery missions, or most of our scenes take place inside the ship. Like if we're not gonna do any space battles.
Says the man who
Remember
determines whether or
Fast-
not we have space battles.
I know, right?
I was going to say,
What?
remember
Space battles.
Farscape. The peacekeepers were the bad guys.
Yeah.
With the biggest honking gunships.
like I would say I still want to go Black Ops. So I gotta say like number 1, no defenses. Number 2, armored hull, because our deceptive is like we don't look like an armored ship, but we are an armored ship.
Okay.
So the last one would be flares and decoys. Too much flare for Black Ops group.
Okay,
It depends
I
entirely
just
how
argued-
decoy works.
Melissa.
It's like if you drop if you drop like a torpedo that's got your that's got a chip in it to broadcast the the normal ship
Yeah, it's
frequency.
the
Hey, I'm
the
open.
fireworks. It's the fireworks. It's the cans.
Yeah.
Melissa, you were
Sorry,
saying.
baby, cry.
I just argued against Mike, but I'm cool with going no defenses. Like the idea of like just being I don't know, we slide through space, nobody notices us kind of concept.
It doesn't matter to me what you pick. I'm just instigating here.
So I'm I'm actually coming around to the idea, and this can be one of the things that falls under deceptive, is we have an armored hull, we just don't look like we do.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's why that was number 2 on my list.
Yeah.
Number 1 is obviously no defenses. We're
Okay.
just that good.
And it sounds like Melissa secretly wants armored hull, so that is 3 votes for armored hull.
Everybody wants armored hull, Mike.
All right.
No.
Not everybody.
Self-character
Not everybody
That was
is
number
as good on a
2.
light armored Humvee as you do.
Listen, only
Chickens.
me and Iquin are like tissue paper airplane. God, guys. All right, cool. So the next step is the weapons on this ship. And I will say, because you are working for Fane, you get to choose any of the options. The options are laser weapons, projectiles. Projectiles would be like your typical rocket torpedo, what you see normally, your ballistic weapon styles, or no weapons.
I have 4 words for you. They are big, honking space laser.
It's a good,
Okay.
it's a good set.
I do like space laser. When I was seeing this in my head, since we talked a lot about this being near future and combustion engines, I just saw like projectile as big humps of metal, like kind of like the rods from God kind of style.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a
Smash
Gauss, like a
drivers.
Gauss
Fire
cannon.
those.
Yeah.
You just fire those and
Gauss
when they
rifle or anti-material.
kind of like in the Expanse when they have those ship-to-ship fights, then just have Gauss cannons just with auto aim prepping because it's so hard to aim in space.
Yep.
So they just put bullets out there and hope for the best.
So I have an idea, which is we can have laser weapons or whatever Fane has outfit the ship with officially, but we as the crew don't even know that there's also mass drivers on it, because mass drivers are incredibly unethical. But it's something that Fane would keep up their sleeve, in case it turned into as was said, the other kind of peacekeeping mission, Pax Per Armor Superiora.
I just like the idea in space. Like I like to think about weird shit when it comes to like space movies and space shows that have like physical projectiles, because there's no resistance in space. So if you shoot a rocket at somebody, it just continues going at the same velocity forever because there's no reduction in space. So if you miss somebody with a rocket, there's just a rocket perpetually going for infinity in that direction. I just imagine someone flying out of like a slipstream one day and just be like, oh shit, just gets hit with a rocket from 10 years ago.
Yeah, Starfleet have been firing off photon torpedoes since 1966.
Yeah.
How many? What's the word they have for lost nuclear missiles? Broken arrows. How many broken arrows are there?
They're just
out
littered
space,
in space.
waiting to go off.
Take that and gravity slingshotting. You fire it, it gravity slingshots, and then suddenly,
All right, so are we doing laser weapons or projectiles? I didn't hear anyone vote for no weapons. So
I'm voting for projectiles.
okay,
Yeah, we can do that. Yep.
projectiles, Melissa.
Right.
I mean, I gave up on no defenses, so please let me project.
No weapons. Got it.
No defenses, no weapons. We live by our wits alone.
All right, so our next step is quirks of the ship. One is given to you automatically, and you guys get to pick the other. So the one that's default for this ship is it is nondescript. Jesus. It is nondescript and unimpressive to outside observers.
Oh, we got the flaming skull painted on it.
Nondescript and unimpressive.
We got the flaming skull on it. Unfortunately, it was done in invisible paint.
Yeah.
Yes, you only get to see it under a black light.
Yeah.
I think
And
this
space is all black.
This part kind of leans in on something Trevor was saying there. A part of your ship is of unknown origin. That's kind of cool because that can lead to like some mysteries aboard the ship.
Yeah, it could be the captain's secret apocalypse weapon.
Let me read out the other options. I didn't realize I didn't do that. Thank you, Melissa. You can change identification data, but someone bad knows you on sight. You have a high-tech upgrade, but are still paying for it. And a part of your ship is of unknown origin.
Unknown origin. Yeah.
I like that.
The high-tech upgrade we owe for doesn't work with the backstory, does it?
A part of your ship is of unknown origin.
It's the darnest. It looks like a giant gun, but we can't figure out what it is.
It's so weird. Guys, you see how we only stay in this part of the ship, but the whole ship is this big? What do you think's
it's
in
Bender's
this half of the ship?
It's Bender's apartment all over again, isn't it?
It's actually it's the opposite of the TARDIS. It's bigger on the outside.
Yeah. You guys ever realize how we've never fueled our ship? That's weird, right?
That's not weird, right?
Yeah. I think
I
you
just
have to
assumed
fuel-
someone did it.
Yeah.
You know, privates come and fuel it for us, right?
I think you have to fuel a ship, right, guys? That's how this works. All right, cool.
Now we've got that
So-
recyclable dilithium. Thanks, Scotty.
Yep, right.
But yeah, if you have the paint the skull in black light, remember that we're in space, so all that UV light from all the stars would
Is
make it
black.
shine all
That's
the
true.
time.
Yep,
That's
yep.
the idea.
Yeah,
Let's see here. How do we check the areas of the ship? Where did
the ones we don't know about.
No, well, that too. Physical details of your ship. Propulsion, defenses, make sure your choices create to match your ship. Match the choices you already made in your world building. These are mostly narrative choices, but can greatly impact the story. For example, the difference between being able to jump to warp 6 at any moment and having to make it to a jump point to make your escape. The areas of the ship serve to create a shared understanding where scenes can take place on the ship. While some of these choices may give narrative advantages, multiple airlocks for example, there is a mechanic that relies on the choice you make in this section. There isn't a mechanic that relies on the choices you make in this section. Choose as many or as few of the locations as are appropriate for your world building, guided by me. Okay, cool. So the areas of the ship, given that this is a light freighter, and the crew is a medium-sized crew, we have the airlock, the armory, the bridge, the cockpit, the brig, security, cargo hold, hangar bay, bunks, crew quarters, officer quarters, passenger quarters, conference room, ready room, engine room, engineering, galley, mess hall, infirmary, or other.
I'm going to say that the brig is out because we take no prisoners.
Okay,
Yeah, we
I
don't
like
need
that.
a brig. I would also say we don't need passenger quarters because we don't take passengers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, and conference room, not really. More like a briefing room. More
Yeah,
than
I was gonna say, don't we only need like a ready room? We can have conferences
Yeah.
in the ready room if we need
Yeah.
to.
We'll
So,
just have
let's
we'll
go.
just have a table down the end.
Airlock, how many?
Yes. I would say 2. It's a
Yeah.
military vessel. You should always
Yeah.
have a redundant airlock.
Okay, so 2. Let's jump right down the list. Armory. Now, armory is like a weapons room, or do each of you have your own weapons on you? Are you the kind of people that like, this is my rifle, there are many
This is
like
my
it,
gun.
but this one is mine,
this
right?
one's mine.
Are you those kind of people, or is it a free-for-all common arms room?
I think we would each have our own personal loadout, but we would have an armory and a quartermaster for like ammo, stuff needs fixing, that sort of thing.
Thoughts, everyone?
I'm with that we need the armory. Maybe we have our own guns and like if we're more of a specialized crew, but we do need to fix them and keep ammo somewhere, and it would be unresponsible to just have ammo everywhere. So I'm a big fan of having the armory, even if it's not for stocking guns per se. It's more for like fixing stuff.
Yeah.
Typical Swede response. Got it.
Ammo
Yes.
and explosives,
Yes.
because sometimes we need to fix things in an SG-1 manner with a lot of C4.
Okay. Trevor, Melissa? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I think Hangar Bay is out. I don't think we need smaller ships.
Oh, no, I'm asking about the armory.
We're
What are your
going-
thoughts
oh,
on the
sorry.
We're
armory?
going down the list.
Yeah, I'm just going down the
sorry,
list.
Sorry.
Skipped a few there.
I'm good with armory.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so the character concept that I came up with really doesn't. He's not a fighter. Or
Okay.
they're not a fighter.
Oh my god.
So it would really. But
Wait, can I just quickly, by raise of hands, how many here are fighters? Thought so.
Hell yeah. Okay.
50-50.
All right.
Yep.
good with that.
So it sounds like in general we prefer an armory over keeping your arms and armor in your footlocker in your room. Okay.
Yep.
And I do like that Iquin brought up a good point of adding a quartermaster, which gives an NPC.
I did. That was Profo.
Oh, so Profo did. Sorry. So either an NPC or a PC can fill the role of quartermaster. That could be one of your ship crew members.
Yeah, I mean, because if we go on a specific mission, it'll just be like issue these for because you're going to this planet.
Okay. All right. This next one.
I'll make a fighter. By the way, I'll go ahead and make a fighter. I'll change my class.
I love that.
You don't have to. I was just seeing the exact same problem we have in the offline game.
No, absolutely. Mine was like a high mind character, and so I'll lean in on a body character.
So for context, to everyone who's not in our offline game, the group of players came to me and said, "Mike, we want to play a space western." In the vein of Cowboy Bebop and Firefly, and I said, okay. And then when I shot at them with guns, they all went, "We don't have guns. What are guns about?" And I was like, "I don't know, guys. You said Western, and that's pretty much all about guns."
I've got an excuse as not being an American.
I am a neutral Swede.
They had Westerns in Europe. They had spaghetti Westerns. No excuse.
Yes, we ate a lot of spaghetti, Mike. We're very close to Italy. You would too.
Mm-hmm. Neutrality and spaghetti. That's the two things
you have in Europe. All right. For this next one, I'm going to give you an either or. You don't have both because it makes sense. You either have a bridge or a cockpit. A cockpit would be like the one or two people are flying this thing. A bridge is kind of like Star Trek.
I don't know if you've seen the cockpit from Red Dwarf, but it's got four seats, 2 pilots, science, and tactical. That's all you need.
Yeah, I imagine when I say cockpit, I imagine like what we see of like in Firefly. Like it fits 2, maybe 3 people, like the captain and Wash, and that's pretty much it. The captain, the pilot, that would be a cockpit. A bridge would be something you can kind of walk around. It's going to be huge, but it fits like, 3 to 5 people, and there's some walk-in room. So bridge or cockpit, what do you guys think?
I have an idea for this. In the Expanse, their ship is laid out, so you have the cockpit where you have whatever Alex's name is that flies, and then you have like one other in there. But the cockpit is an open area out to like the ready room where the rest of them are strapped down, so they can still communicate openly. So we could do a thing like that. So we have a cockpit for like the people flying, and then we have the other room, like ready room for the people fighting or whatever they're doing.
Okay.
I like that. That feels good to me because like you wanna be able to chat with everyone when we're in the middle of the action.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's what we have, like the mid section, which is kind of like the drop bay for.
Okay. So we already ruled out Brig. We don't take prisoners. I feel like we don't need security on the ship because all of you are some level of military. So, like, we're not going to need, like, civilian, like, to keep the civilians safe. Like, you guys are the safety. I feel like maybe it's because Iquin keeps shouting Black Ops. I feel like part of the crew is like, this is my safety. When it's over here, it's safe. When it's over here, it's not safe. Like, that's just Iquin. I don't know. All right, so we don't need security. Do you envision yourselves picking up cargo? Well, let me rephrase that. Do you imagine yourselves picking up enough cargo to warrant a cargo hold?
I mean, it would be useful, and it's like we could be resupplying other Black Ops units on the front.
Yeah, it feels like you could do cool stuff where you have to go to some planet and get something, and I don't know, just seems like it would be handy.
Now, sure. I feel like this is like if you're flying in these potential Black Ops missions, right? I know it's supposed to be a freighter, but would you have a cargo hold or a hangar bay?
No hangar bay.
Yeah.
No hangar bay. Okay, so cargo hold.
I figure this is the small enough overhauled freighter. It looks like a freighter on your scanner screen, but then you get closer and you're like, fuck, that's not a freighter. It's got a weapons lock on it.
That's no move.
So, yeah.
I'm thinking also that...
I'm seeing...
I was going to say, if we want to take the Space Mopedo out to get burgers, we can use the cargo bay.
Space Mopedo! Fucking shut up. Okay.
That's canon
Do you
now.
want a
That's
space-
canon now.
Do you want a space Vespa? I mean, I can change.
Let's call it Spespa.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
Melissa, you were going to add something?
Far less entertaining. Once again I'm seeing this more like Firefly than like Star Trek, right?
Okay.
So
Hmm.
Firefly had that big old, cargo bay
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Where they also stuff that Meditech thing in that episode when they needed a Medi vehicle, so you could use the cargo bay as a smaller hangar bay if you wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, and there's definitely times where they go planet side and they have a 4-wheeler. They just roll out of
Mhm.
there.
Yeah,
like,
and
on the
we'll
planet.
have the armory off the cargo hold as well,
Love
because then we can use the cargo hold as an ad hoc shooting range when we're on sort of long journeys.
Yeah, I also like Gees once again. No, sorry, not Gees. Well, Necrotic. Necro came in from the chat was like, if you're going Black Ops, you need to have a secret hidden armory,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I like that
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Yeah, the double secret probationary armory.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's on academic probation as well.
Yeah.
It's badass.
All right, so this next one, I'm going to. So obviously we ruled out passenger quarters, but I'm going to add some definitions to these. So bunks are individual, small rooms. Crew
Like,
quarters. Yeah, bunks would be like in Firefly, right? Everyone had their
Yeah.
own individual bunk. Crew
Like a coffin
quarters.
hotel.
Yes. Crew quarters is an open bay. Think like a pirate ship, right? We're all sleeping in the same room.
yeah.
Officer quarters are the same thing, but for officers of the ship. So, like, the captain would have one if there is a first mate or a first officer. If there is, like, the science officer, the engineering, like, the heads of things would have those. I will say, depending on how we want to... depending on how militaristic we want to do this, it is common in at least my experience, that the crew more or less, well, in certain units, more or less sleeps together, and then the highest officer and usually like the highest sergeant will have their own quarters. However, when it comes to like, as Iquin keeps shouting, Black Ops, everyone just sort of sleeps wherever the hell they can. Like they don't even, you don't have to have quarters. You could just pass out on the floor. Like you sleep wherever you want to sleep. So what do you guys think? Bunks or crew quarters and officer quarters?
I think just from mechanically speaking, it's probably better if we have sort of individuals, so we can have a stamp of our various characters' personalities on there, on what little space they do have.
I was thinking also that you can have scenes in private in the bunks, which is also a thing that is nice to be able to do.
Okay, I like that. Bunks.
I was gonna go crew quarters, but I'm cool going with bunks.
I would like to hear your why on crew quarters.
Just because I've been watching Lower Decks.
Yeah,
I mean, you can have a lot
fair.
of really fun like interactions as a group, like that are casual at night, like or like off hours or whatever. And you do have your kind of like little space. You have the like bunk that is your really zone. But you know, I'm cool with.
I'm with Melissa, and I'm gonna extrapolate why though. There is something so, especially in this game where trust is a mechanic. There is something about the inability to have privacy that like will either foster trust or fucking rage. Like there's at the end of the day, after a hard mission and all you want is solace and silence, and then you have 4 dudes playing cards 10 feet from you at their side of the quarters because they didn't have a hard day, and you're like, shut the fuck up! And then that is a roleplay moment there between characters, right? I think you can have individual scenes in bunks, but I do think that group scenes in the crew quarters would be very cool as well.
Yeah.
My idea for the bunks was the same kind of lineage, but with, you know, if you go away and sneak off and have these things, you could have like this, either we trust the people going away talking or we don't trust them. But when you presented it and when Melissa presented the idea of the crew quarters, I'm also starting to lean more towards crew quarters to have the more drama.
More drama.
Now I'm thinking kind of like the BSG reboot.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so crew quarters. Now, I'm gonna phrase the next one as a question to you guys, right? Crew, and once I remember how to spell words. Now, this is gonna play directly into your creation of the captain, right? Do you think, because if the captain says yes, then all the other officers must fall in line, whether they are NPCs or player characters. Do you envision your captain, the commander of both the ship and your unit, to be the kind of guy that, or the kind of person that has his own private quarters, or slums it with the rest of the Joes?
Oh no, you're not a captain of anything without your own quarters. God damn it!
Yes, I would actually even posit that it is less the personality of the captain and the personality of Fane.
Yeah, I think it's Fane.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
Fane wants the captain to be that
Separate.
Yeah.
Fane wants Captain Picard. Damn it! He doesn't want any of this new sharing, caring.
Captain's not one
Man.
of the people.
I went so the other way. I was more thinking of Mal and being like, yeah, Mal would just, bunker down with all of his guys and be like, these are my guys. You fuck with them, you fuck with me. So I'm just gonna...
Mal had principles. Mal would have never worked for Fane.
Yeah.
That's so...
But I know, but that's how I envisioned the captain.
But Mal was a part of a group of independent operators.
Yeah. And his highest military rank was sergeant.
That's so interesting. I was also for the no crew quarter, for the no officer quarters, only because like in my experience, in my recent experience, when I roll out to the field, we have a truck and a trailer. Sometimes we have 2 trucks and 2 trailers. But once we're on the ground, the trailer, all the stuff gets offloaded, and that becomes my apartment where I set up my my little cot and half the time there is a cot directly next to me, and that is my officer, because I am the person who runs like the sergeant stuff, and he runs the officer stuff, and it's the 2 of us in that sort of thing. So he sleeps with us, which is very interesting. Yeah,
I'm gonna vote for Iquin's choice in this one, just because I feel like it's not been going Iquin's way for a lot of these conversations so far. So
you don't have to. I'm not feeling bullied. I am fine with it going both ways. I just I want to present options. That's what I'm doing.
He's playing both sides here, so he can never be
I'm
wrong.
always playing both sides. But no matter, if you want to vote for that, you do so. I'm obviously going to vote for that because that's how I feel. But I am fine if the rest of you feel some other way.
I'm gonna slide in here, right? It sounds like we have 2 for officer quarters and 2 for no officer quarters, right? I'm gonna slide in and play devil's advocate here. I'm gonna give you an option that suits both, right? And also bounces back to the previous one. The ship has officer quarters because it's a military ship and they are stock standard, and that's what they come with. God damn it! But the type of officer you have is not one that necessarily does everything by the book, and he sleeps in the crew quarters because that's what he says. It's his ship. He does what he wants. So there's a little bit of nuance for your captain, and so now you have officer quarters, which is unused by the captain, but it could be a room for private conversation, like Iquin had said previously about the crew quarters. So you now have a spare room.
That's pretty cool.
So I'll say
also,
unused.
I love how much drama we've already mustered in this group, and we haven't even started playing yet.
Yeah, right? What a traumatic session 0, guys. Shit. All right, so we said no passenger quarters, no civilians on board. We said we don't need a conference room, but I believe everyone sort of agreed that we do need a ready room.
Yeah,
like a war room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A ready/war room, like a briefing room kind of
Yeah.
thing. Now, I'm gonna do my best to define the 2 of these, at least what I think. So, engine room is exactly what it sounds like. That's kind of what we saw in Waste Sky with where Snow's character is, and the engineering would be more like the science of engineering, whereas the engine room is just sweaty, hot engine room, pipes, wrenches, fixing the engine. So obviously you have to have an engine room because we're not going through portals. Do you think you guys would have engineering, or is that something for the eggheads back planet side to deal with?
Yeah, that's something for the eggheads with the
Yeah.
pocket protectors.
Do you see a calculator in my pocket? No, you don't.
Right,
No,
exactly.
just genuinely happy to see you.
The only protection my pocket needs is this.
Yes. And now it's safe. Soon it will go over here. It gets less and less safe.
Oh shit. Okay. A galley versus a mess hall. A galley. Does anyone know what a galley versus a mess hall is before I over-explain myself?
I'm gonna guess that a
galley is-
galley is more like an intimate setting, whereas a mess hall is gonna be like made for numbers. Is
Yeah,
that
I believe a galley is kind of like what they have on Firefly.
A galley is imagine what not you, Melissa. I've been there. What most companies have for a break room. Your break room is extravagant. Your break room is a mess hall, Melissa. But like in a lot of like corporate places, they'll have that nook that has like a fridge, food, things like that. Maybe 1 or 2 chairs and tables. Very small sort of setting. Whereas a mess hall would be like a cafeteria.
Yeah. The galley is just your generic name for any kitchen aboard a ship.
Yeah, like when I say
Whereas-
galley, think like Alien, right? Like the dinner scene in Alien, or the dinner scene in Expanse, right? That's a galley.
Yeah, I like the Expanse
Okay.
setting.
I like the
Because
galley as well.
I mean, if we have mess halls,
Yep.
that means we need an officer's mess and an enlisted men's mess, and it all becomes
It's
a bit
a
of a mess,
mess.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole mess. And then really we can start adding in something called a gidunk, which is like a canteen. It's like a snack bar on a submarine.
Oh, do we not get talking vending machines? It's the space future.
We don't. You may on planet
Aw.
side. You may on planet
Aw.
side.
You,
all right,
you
let's-
missed your sort of
Talking
your
vending
acting,
machines.
the sort of the snow-capped top of your acting ability in playing a
As-
talking
as
vending
robot.
machine there, mate. Yeah,
As a talking vending machine.
a talking
All right,
vending
so-
machine who really wants to get planet side and murder people by hurling cans of chilled cola at the enemy.
So the last option here is infirmary. And
Yes.
again, much like I said for no defenses, my vote is no infirmary because you guys are
Yes.
too good to get injured.
Yes. I want to play a medic. Give me my infirmary.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's give Iquin something. Come on,
That's
now.
true. It's true. He
Iquin
does.
is
He does
desperately
want to
trying
play.
to play.
Despite shouting Black Ops for the last hour, he does want to play a medic.
Hour 5.
You can have a medic in Black Ops.
Yeah.
You
Who
can.
else
You
is gonna
can.
patch you? Who else is gonna patch you up when
yeah,
your
who
whole
else is
like
going
unit
to-
is dying from
Who else
some
is
weird
going to
alien threat?
design the poisons as well that we shoot at guys to make it look like a heart attack?
Exactly.
That's true.
I can do both. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Do we have anything not listed here that we would like for a room or an area on the ship?
I was thinking about setting up a shooting range in any sort of unused part of the cargo bay, because that seems like a very
I do
seems
like a
something we would
shooting
do.
range.
Yeah, because we
Shooting
keep that
range
skill.
sounds fun.
I'm trying to figure out how a shooting range on a spaceship would work, because if you hit the hull, you
Excellent.
depressurize the spaceship, and then you turn
You
it into a
don't
tin
miss,
can.
Mike. Where you, Mike, look at me.
It
It's
works
safe now.
perfectly.
And it's getting less safe.
Extra shields, lots of sandbags, easy.
Is it?
Yeah, you don't miss. You don't miss.
Don't miss.
We're Black Ops. We're not, Jolly Rogers. We're not like the noobs from the academy. We're the Black Ops team. We're the Skull Squadron. We don't miss.
The Skull Squadron. Okay, all right. You know what? Just for the sheer comedy of the fucking Christ. Shooting gallery, a gentlemanly shooting gallery. Golly. All right. Does anyone else have any additional areas not listed? Shit. That's
Does it count as any other area, or do we want to have like escape pod thingies? Because even Firefly, that was like a light freighter, did have 2 escape pods.
You say escape pod, and I hear quitting.
Yeah. I don't
That is
like
true.
This,
Forget
I don't
everything
like
I said.
quitting words.
I said
you
nothing.
Believe that, sorry, mate. I fired off both of the escape pods, trying to get the lid off off some beer.
This was a test, and you all passed. Excellent.
We have
Okay.
them, but they're both painted yellow for cowardice.
I like
the idea that you just shot him off. Like nope.
It's just the hole where it would have gone. You like someone's like, do you guys have an escape pod? Oh, you mean the storage unit? What do you?
That happened in an episode of Red Dwarf when they were about to crash and they needed the escape pod, and it turned out that Lister had used the mechanism to take up a bottle top of a particularly stubborn bottle of beer.
Oh, Jesus. I like that Chris in chat said, when the captain does use his quarters, you know he's disappointed in you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe his quarters have the only escape pod.
Yeah, that's why you never knew that they existed, because they're attached directly to the captain's quarters.
Yeah, yeah. It has one for the captain, one for the XO, and the rest of you are fucked, mate.
Someone said, save the medic, save the op.
It depends whether he means
operation
or one of us is dying and needs an operation.
Exactly.
So I'd like some clarification there.
No, you don't
right.
get any. I think this is the best. We don't need the quitting pods. I love that Necro calls them quitting pods. We fire those shit dead weight. Don't need them.
Quitting pods. All right. So the next step is creating your character. So we have a number of playbooks here per the quick start. So I'm going to read off some of those real quick. We have the civilian. The civilian is a deal maker. Their preferred battleground is a negotiation table or fancy social event, and words are their weapon of choice. They know how people think and are savvy enough to use it to their advantage. Excuse me. The civilian can have one of 3 backgrounds: the diplomat, the religious leader, or the entrepreneur. So next up, we have Mike clicking too fast. We have the gifted. The gifted has exceptional metahuman abilities that they were either born with or obtained through a life-changing event. The gifted may have one of 3 backgrounds: untrained talent, the professional, or the hunted. Now, in the setting of New Eden, we don't actually have everyone's a human. We went with boring old humans as the settlers of this world. So no metahuman abilities. Unless we discuss them properly. So the gifted will be like someone who is exceptional at what they do. Let's see here. The hot shot.
I'm gonna have to remake my character.
No, you don't have to, as long as you don't have like, and we can discuss it too when we're building characters. Yeah. The hot shot is impressive. To others, they appear cool, capable, and fearless in the face of danger. Half their crewmates want them, and the other half want to be them. But in reality, the hotshot is hiding their emotional baggage and nagging doubts. The hotshot may have one of 3 backgrounds: the famous ace, the rebellious maverick, or the pilot for hire. I will say, going back to the gifted, Trevor, you don't have to remake your character. As we have discussed in the history of New Eden, before there was Fane, there was 2 entities, and one of them was called like the Technocratic Authority or whatever the hell I named it. And they did do a bunch of weird shit with like cyber shit. So it might not necessarily be like psychic, like you're making things fly, but it could be more of like a River Tam gifted kind of thing, or a cybernetics gifted kind of thing.
It could quite easily be Fane experimenting on orphans and stuff like that, and drumming them into the military. It's Fane
for sure.
So those guys were totally doing that.
I had something even wackier in mind.
Like,
literally the personification of possible futures.
Okay. So like Minority Report.
Kind of.
Okay.
Think like the Traveler from Next Gen.
I don't watch Star. I don't. The irony is that I don't watch almost any of these shows. That these are. I've never seen a single Star Wars. I have never seen Stargate. Only the movie. I have never seen Battlestar Galactica.
Wait. You've never seen Star Wars?
Oh, sorry, Star Trek. I've never seen Star Trek.
Okay.
Star Trek. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I had Star Wars in
Friendship
mind.
was
My
always
kids,
over
my kids upstairs watching Star Wars now.
Mike, you were this close to losing a friend there.
I know. I know. I'm so sorry.
Okay, 2 words for you: machete order.
Babylon 5, never seen it. Nope.
I've never seen Babylon 5 either. I keep meaning to get around to it, but
Yeah, same here. I've never seen that either.
So
hey, that's our podcast. Us 3 watch Bab 5 together. Back on Patreon if you want to see that.
The first and last seasons of Bab 5 are a little painful. There's reason for that for the 5th one. The first one is JMS was finding his feet. I gotta say, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th seasons are probably some of the best TV I've ever watched. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, I've seen almost all of these, so.
Chris says I've also never read an RPG book, and that's also accurate. All right, so the next class, or the next playbook in the Quick Start is the Rebel. The Rebel reads, the Rebel is not a person who enjoys violence, but it has become an inextricable part of their life. They accepted that long ago as the price they had to pay to stand against those they considered oppressors. The Rebel may have one of 3 backgrounds: the Freedom Fighter, the Saboteur, or the Redeemed. Let's jump over to the next one. The Unfamiliar, as I scroll, where the hell? The Unfamiliar. The Unfamiliar is decidedly different from their crewmates, and their alien nature sets them apart. They have some aspect of normal interactions that they simply cannot grasp, such as emotions, interpersonal relationships, or biological functions. The Unfamiliar may have one of 3 backgrounds: the artificial life form, the first contact species, and the unknown origin. Again, since we're playing mostly humans, this one will need some tweaking for our setting, but I can find some ways to make it happen. And I think the last one we have in here is the Outsider. The Outsider has a dubious past, whether it is from their own past actions or the violent actions of a group to which they belonged. Others have legitimate reasons to be suspicious of them. The Outsider may have one of 3 backgrounds: the double agent, the exiled enemy, or the criminal past. Cool. So, given all of that, who would like to go first in creating their character?
I can go. I've been looking through these. I think I'll go with the Rebel, since I said I was gonna do something heavy in body.
Okay.
So I'll be our fighter character.
Okay.
So we should pick from the backgrounds, I think, right?
Yeah, so it starts off pretty basic, everybody, for character creation. It is your character, you pick your playbook, name, pronouns, look, demeanor, age, species, which for us is Terran, and homeworld, which we actually do have a list of, 30 planets that these players have access to. But the first actual step in picking your character stuff is your background. So your options are Freedom Fighter, Redeemed, and Saboteur. And while you're kind of looking those over, I will go back to the Rebel and give the touchstones. What's nice is in the description in the playbook, sorry, not in the playbook, in the Quick Start, it actually gives some touchstones as characters who may be this playbook. So it lists Mal Reynolds from Firefly, Chakotay? Thank you. From Star Trek Voyager.
He doesn't know who 90% of these people are.
No. Cara Dune, I know that one from The Mandalorian. This other person from Star Trek Deep Space Nine,
Kira Nerys.
That's the one. Gakar, I can't fuck up that name. Babylon 5. Nailed it. Shut up, Trevor.
Trevor, just read the list for us, dude.
Sabine Wren from Star Wars Rebels. I've seen that show.
No one else has.
That guy from Star Trek SG-1. I mean, from Stargate SG-1. And Aaron Sun from Starscape. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Teal'c?
Yes.
Teal'c.
Yes, Teal'c.
That one you get right.
Teal'c of Chulak from Stargate SG-1. I have seen Firefly, The Mandalorian, And Star Wars Rebels.
Excellent.
So Melissa, what background did you go with?
I'm looking at them. It's a little rough because some of the stuff kind of leans in on just like kind of like open sci-fi space stuff and not
Yes.
specifically to your universe. And so I think we're gonna have to kind of like play a little loose with some of the stuff that we see here because like I don't know how like a freedom fighter would be a part of this Black Ops group. So, but that's what I want to lean in for in terms of like the stats.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Freedom Fighter, and then we're gonna just kind of figure out how to make that work in your universe. I think.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 All right. So Freedom Fighter gives you +1 on your courage stat. So you automatically start with a plus with a +1 on top of whatever you choose for courage. And you
Well,
get
you don't
to,
really choose your stats. You get your stats handed to you.
That's
All you
true.
get is to choose one +1 out of these backgrounds. I think,
Yes.
right?
So you get +1 for courage for your background. And then it says choose 3 things your cause fought for. So you get to choose between to win back territory from your foe, to reconsecrate sacred land, to rebuild your population, to save the royal family line, to get revenge for past wrongs, or to get the technology to win the war. So you get to choose 3 of those.
What makes the most sense for someone in the military in your universe, Mike?
Well, I will also tell you what the benefit of choosing those are. So each one of those things has a word after them. To win back territory from your foes is shooting. The reconsecrate your sacred land is ancient cultures. Each of these are skills, and
Yeah,
you
they give
have
you skills, right?
yes. So you have skills based on your background, and when you're rolling. If you think an applicable skill would or a skill would be applicable to that role, it gives you a +1 on the roll. So I think, I think we can easily change to win back territory from your foe to be like a to
Take
Well,
over more territory? or
yeah,
something like
yeah, yeah. You know, I mean, when the government says we're going here to spread some democracy, you just spread that democracy, right?
When has
So,
manifest destiny ever been a bad thing, eh, chat?
yeah, Manifest Destiny doesn't have an enemy. It's just the demands of progress.
Kinda does.
So we change it to Manifest Destiny, that first line. All right, sounds great.
Ah,
That hurt to say out loud.
I just
Guys,
love the
whatever's
smell of
happening
democracy
in
in the
this,
morning.
whatever happening is this show is not the expressed opinion of Unmade Gaming or myself. Oh God. Okay. Again, I could also see to save the royal family line would be like to save a government official, right? That could be easily done there. To get the technology to win the war, pretty cut and dry on that one. I'm trying to think of to reconsecrate sacred land and to rebuild your population. Those are the 2 that I don't have a 1-to-1.
Well, it depends if there's been some sort of natural disaster on one of the Fane core worlds, and that could be rebuild that particular
Oh, okay.
population.
What
Yeah,
are you
we're, like-
leaning towards as your 3 options, Melissa? And then I can.
Let's just do the easy thing here, I think, and go with Manifest Destiny at the front, save the family line, royal family line. That is like reinforce like fame.
Okay.
And then to get technology to win the war. What I don't quite understand is 2 of these are shooting, and does that mean you can get a skill twice?
I don't think so. I think it maxes out at +1 if I've read
Okay,
that and
so-
understood correctly. So yeah.
So this is like alpha, like we're in alpha.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and pick those 3, and then the one that I cross out will be the one of those that you are secretly worked against. To get revenge for past. I don't even know what that would mean. For past runs. Why would
I think
be
that
working
answer is
against
more
that?
of like a role playing thing. Like that can play into your backstory,
Yeah.
right? Of like the one you secretly worked against, the one you stopped from happening. Um, uh,
Is it among the three that I'm
no,
picking
it's
the one
among
that I
the
secretly
remaining.
worked against? Okay, so uh rebuild your population. I don't believe in expansion.
Okay,
No, it didn't. Yeah, okay, wait.
okay,
Yes. I don't
okay,
believe in population expansion.
okay.
I'm
I
No.
having
like
a
it.
hard time with this, but
I like it.
One child per couple. One, I say.
One
only one.
Thanks, China.
All right, so your starting stats are 2 in body, 0 in brains, a +1 in courage, a -1 in heart, and a 0 in savvy.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, and then you get to start with 2 conditions marked here.
All right.
Now, I will say, I believe in the rules it has whatever your lowest stat is. So there's a very cool function in the game where after a while of just of just being so beaten down at one thing, you sort of build up a tolerance, and you can no longer take conditions in that. So it's always whatever your low stat is, so your -1 stat, you are now immune to conditions in that low stat. So yours is heart. You are immune to conditions in heart. You are so heartless that you cannot be hopeless or resentful.
I want to go with because I like the idea of having some risk of harming even more. So I want to go with angry and
Okay.
resentful. So resentful,
I
I'm pretty
believe
much
you're
immune at
immune
that
to
point.
resentful.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna do those though because it's having sense to me.
Details.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Does that not work?
I don't. We'll say
Or do
yes
I
for
need to
now.
pick one?
I don't know that you can actually pick resentful because you're
Okay.
immune to resentful.
Because I have
think.
okay,
Yeah.
get it. Okay, I see what you're
Like,
saying now.
I read
Then-
through the rules, and rules as written, yes, you can, but rules as intended, who knows?
That's
Okay,
true.
I'm gonna go with angry and disillusioned.
Disillusion. That's a good one.
Love it.
I like that one. Okay, and I believe you start with 2. Excuse me. You start with 2 moves here. So the moves we have for the rebel are aim to misbehave, jury rig, sabotage, speak truth to power, the quick and the dead, and networking. Which 2 would you like to start with?
Aim to misbehave, which helps with fighting stuff.
Okay.
Next is brains, and so that doesn't seem very much like my character. Sabotage. Let's go with sabotage.
Okay. So
I
aim to
can't
misbehave and
stand it.
sabotage.
I find it.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out. There's a
that?
spot. Oh, I like that. That's very cool. Okay, cool. So the next thing we're gonna do is ship customization. So you get to
Right.
pick one of these. So the options you have are drown it out, an area that is busy and loud to drown out your past. Memorial, a place that reminds you of the brave ones that are gone, or a stash, hidden survival gear, and an escape route. So you get to pick one of those and describe it to us.
Escape route to that escape pod that's just not there anymore.
Oh, Melissa, you missed the part where we discussed the potential for escape pods, and those are what are they called? Quitting pods.
Quitting
Yeah.
pods.
Because
Necro
escape
call them
pods-
quitting pods in chat.
Escape pods are for quitters, and so the ship doesn't have one.
So that's funny because I was going to say an escape pod, but what else would an escape route be if you're on a ship and you need an escape route other than an escape pod?
Head between legs, kiss ass goodbye.
I was thinking the little inflatable slides like on airplanes.
Or like a halo,
into deep
like a
space.
pressurized halo suit.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, let's
Yeah.
do that. So somewhere there's a little nook. No, it's like there's a panel that
Yeah.
she has pulled apart, and there's some survival gear, and in it there's like a little spacesuit, so that she both has gear and the spacesuit to get off the ship if she needs to.
Yeah.
When you
yeah,
say
'cause you
little
can-
spacesuit, I see like a doll size, like,
You can escape in low orbit and just rocket down to one of the planets. Okay, cool. We'll save connections for the end, and we'll sort of loop back around as we get there, because that's where trust is formed. So that is it for the character, other than your backstory. But that's the character built in essence. Who would like to go next with their character concept? Don't all jump.
I can volunteer then.
All right.
We're just gonna give people some time to react. But
What
I
would you like
always
to play?
medic.
Civilian,
No.
civilian, the gifted, the hotshot, the rebel, or the unfamiliar, or the outsider.
So I already did this, but I will do it again on camera.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But I followed your advice, or actually Kimmy's advice. I guess it was from the early beginning, and did take the gifted and went brains with the gifted. So I chose gifted, and in my idea, I've redone this now slightly since last night when I did this. I'm gifted in the way that I was just naturally talented as like a battle medic. I can keep my hands steady and focus even though things are blowing up besides me. I focused on my task.
Hell yeah.
So that's my gift. Like I was good at what I did even under pressure.
Okay. So for you, your backgrounds are the hunted, which is +1 to body, professional, which is +1 to brains, which you just said you took, and the untrained talent, which is +1 to savvy.
Yes.
Under professional, you get to choose one public and one private reason that you chose your profession.
But that's okay. Wait, did I mess them up? Because I thought public and private reason you choose your profession. Oh, that's under untrained talent on mine. I mixed those up. I will fix the character sheet I built later, but nothing to see here, people. Everything is fine.
It's okay. No one can see it anyway. Just you.
Yeah.
No, I know, but the other people in my co-people in this
Sure.
group can see that.
So your options for reasons you chose your profession include to help others, to prove you are trustworthy, to escape who you used to be, to relieve your guilt, it is expected or traditional, or to hide a secret.
Yes, so I chose to a way to remove or cure your gifts, and for me, I interpret biology as PTSD.
That is under untrained talent.
Did I mess them up completely?
You
Fuck
did.
me. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I just switched the wrong things then.
I can
Let's
read
see,
a list
how
if you
was-
want, if that helps.
Yeah, read the list again and
So,
just let me.
To help others, to prove you are trustworthy, to escape
right.
who you used to be,
Yeah.
to relieve your guilt, it is expected or traditional, or to hide a secret.
Right, I see what happened here. I just switched the professional and untrained. That's what I did wrong. So everything was correct, but not the headings. There we go. Let me and right. Let me then go through the actual list that I should have gone through last night that I did not, and say, well, to help others medicine. I'm a medic, of course. I'm gonna do that one.
Now, is that your public reason or your private reason?
And I would say that is both. Like I am officially a medic enlisted in Fane military. Whatever I actually do is another business.
Okay.
And I think my private reason to actually put up with Fane and all their bullshit is because I could actually help people doing what I do.
Okay. All right. So to help others is one. What's the second one?
Right. Yeah. Oh, this works so good. To escape who you used to be, psychology is the other one. PTSD. I was in the war, in the binary war. And I want to escape that shit.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, I like that. All right, so your starting stats are 0 in body, a +1 in brains, a -1 in courage, a 2 in heart, and a 0 in savvy. So pick your 2 starting conditions.
Right. I picked disillusioned from the war.
Okay.
And I
that is courage, which I believe you are immune to.
All right. Did we say we could not do that?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Then I will change it.
Although that's such a good that is a good way to start.
Yeah, but I picked it because I was looking at a character who's like was in the war, went from the war, and is now like working through that shit. Because if I remember correctly, in your timeline, the war ended 5 years ago, or like cycles or whatever.
Yeah, like relatively recently.
Yeah.
You know
So
what? You know what? Let's say we could do that. You can take one. So Melissa, if you want to take the one you said that was under.
Nah, I'm cool. Disillusioned is awesome. So
All right.
I'm
Yeah, I'll say you could do Disillusioned, Iquin. That makes sense given the story you just told.
So yeah, so disillusion from the war, like war is hell. No grandeur in war at all. It's all about keeping you and your buddies in your unit alive. And then I picked guilty, survivor's guilt. I made it out of the war. My old unit didn't.
I like the idea of everyone being this hardcore Black Ops team, but everyone's disillusioned with the war. All right. For gifted moves, you get to start with 2. We have Brain Talk, Morale Boost, Reading Them Like a Book, Kill You With My Brain, and You Knew This Would Happen.
Yes. I obviously choose morale boost because I'm the medic who's gonna boost your morale. If not the medic that comes to keep you alive.
Yep.
And I also choose kill you with my brain. And that was I've thought a lot about it, but it's more like I didn't make anything else better, and I didn't wanna. Me and Trevor talked a bit as well in the chat, and I wanted to stay off his area. And the one thing that seemed to make the most sense to me, as I'm actually a trained soldier, even though I don't really want to do soldier stuff, is kill you with my brain.
So yeah, so it's less like actually killing you with my laser brain powers, and
no, exactly.
more of like I know 17 ways to snap a human bone, right? Yeah,
exactly. So that's my interpretation.
So Iquin, if it I am gonna retool my character because I came up with this theory before it was really settled that we were gonna be in the Wasteland and Sky universe, and so I'm coming up with another concept. So if you wanted to take, honestly, I think You Knew This Would Happen would be a great one for you, because you're always prepared. Always being prepared for whatever you need.
Yeah, I was when I was looking through reading them like a book, like I need to do triage, I need to understand people, I need to know who does what, and I also You Knew This Would Happen. In the original, I was thinking like we were not going to do military, so my original idea that I was in the military and I was honorably discharged after the war because of all my shit, and I need something to just keep me going. And I knew this would happen would be like I'm an experienced soldier from the actual front lines of the binary war. Yeah. I knew this would happen.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so morale boost, and you knew this would happen.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change mine from kill you with my brain to you knew this would happen. Like I'm seasoned. I draw upon my experience, and I can foresee some things happen because they did.
I love the idea of the medic being a higher ranked, NCO on board the ship. All right, so for ship customizations for you, we have a bit of home, a place that reminds you of the past. Private practice, where you practice your profession, which I think is a pretty solid one. And sanctuary, an area away from others' thoughts and feelings.
It's like you can read my mind because I choose private practice and it's my medbay. I've set it up to be, it wasn't called medbay now, it was called something else, infirmary, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all know it's a medbay, and we all know it got like those kind of just enough medical supplies that is like the standard issue for any bad government. You get just enough and it works enough to work. It's all shine and things on the surface, and when you get down to it, keep people alive, nah. I envisioned very much a certain nation being kind of a paper tiger, doing something else to a certain other nation when I wrote like that part of the equipment is just enough to work.
Now, I have a question for your medbay here. In my experience, there are two kinds of military people, and only those two. Either is everything exactly where it should be and labeled in your medbay? Or is everything exactly where you know it is, but no one else can find anything?
Man, we're such on the same wavelength because I literally wrote in supplies organized in a chaotic but apparently understandable way. Everything is exactly where I know it should be, and nothing is labeled whatsoever.
I am the opposite. Any new people in my unit or in my section, I go, this goes here, this goes here. Every box is labeled in my office. Everything has a place. And if you don't put it back, so help you God.
Iquin has clearly watched MASH, in which they keep the very important sort of surgical tools, spreaders or something like that, in the footlocker in their tent.
Yeah.
I've actually drilled my roommate for I think he's lived there for 4 or 5 years now, to where everything should be, because I label nothing and I have a very peculiar way of where everything should be. And it doesn't have to make sense. Like, my measuring cups are in 2 different places because ones are in metal and ones are in plastic, and the plastic does not mix with the metal ones. It took him like 2 years to learn that one.
Dude, I'm so anal. I have like we have dishwashers. I don't know if dishwashers are a universal thing all over the world. We have dishwashers, and there's an area we put cutlery in, and like I will go in behind other people in my house and rearrange the dirty cutlery into the appropriate cups, because it just makes sense in my mind to go sharp knives, butter knives, forks, spoons, other things like spatulas. That's just how my brain works. And
Everybody
so I will go
knows
in
from most to
and
least deadly.
change them all.
Everybody knows that in Sweden they queue up and wash their dishes in the fjord or in a large river. Obviously,
That's the Norwegians. The Norwegians have the fjords. We have the peninsulas.
All right, that is our medic.
Archipelago.
Jesus.
Yep.
That's our medic. So Trevor and Profo, we have you two next. Which one of you wants to go next?
So I kind of have an idea. It will require a little bit of tweaking, and B, fixing an omission in the playbook.
Let's tweak. Let's go for it. Who are you playing?
Because I would like to play the outsider.
Ooh, okay.
Looking at the double agent background, but instead of double agent being a secret agent, so instead of one goal for my employers and one goal for myself, it's one public goal from my employers, or Fane in this case, and one secret goal from Fane.
Oh, okay. I can fuck with that. Okay, I can fuck with that. And then one you would never do. Okay, I accept this minor tweak. Okay, cool. So double agent gives you +1. Shit. What would it give you?
Like I said, correct a typo.
That is what is missing from here. So criminal past gives you body. Exiled enemy gives you heart. Double agent.
I was thinking it was savvy because I put this together before.
It's savvy.
It makes sense to be savvy.
Except outsider already has 2 in savvy.
Oh yeah.
So it would have to be brains.
Art?
It would have to be brains because it's one of your zero stats.
Yeah.
It's one of your zero stats.
Okay.
Yep. So body and heart already in there, so it would have to be brains. Correct.
Yep. Okay, I'm good with that. And then the more public goal is learn military secrets.
Obviously.
The private goal is sow discord among factions.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. And what's something you would never do? Get close to a politician?
Arrive without wearing full body armor. I am not a moron. No, let's go with smuggle something vital.
Smuggle something vital. Okay. Okay.
And then for the moves, I'm thinking public relations.
For the moves. Oh yeah, I see it. Sorry, I lost it. Yep.
That's right. And thank you for your cooperation. So I'm kind of halfway, but I'm kind of the face.
Okay.
And kind of the rogue.
Yeah. Okay. So you can handle yourself in a conversation, and you can handle yourself in combat.
Yes, and it's using savvy in both cases.
Yes.
So, hey, Trevor, I'm trying to think through my connections early here. So you're a secret agent, is that right?
So I'm basically a Fane operative.
Okay. So you are on our side, not against us.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
As
I mean,
far
he
as we
could
know.
just be the intelligence officer aboard our ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
like
basically that's basically what I am. I'm the
Intel.
intelligence
Okay.
I like
officer.
that.
What you
It's
guys
definitely
don't
not the
know.
Inquisition.
What you guys don't know is that I am also my other private mission from Fane is to basically keep everyone else in such a state of discord and confusion that no one can mount any kind of opposition to Fane's authoritarian rule.
I like that. I can fuck with that. Okay. All right. And then for ship customization for you, you have a front, a mundane facade to hide your real work, a secret communicator to send and get secret communications, and a vault where you keep your secret stuff.
I think it's got to be a secret communicator.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Where is it and what does it look like?
Okay. It is a. Okay, so I'm sorry. Has anyone else here seen Babylon 5? I can't remember. Okay. Melissa, do you remember the monitors with the really weird patterns from Control?
No, it was like
Okay.
20 years ago, right? Time ago.
That's when it premiered. Some of us watched it last week. So basically, it is what this was. This was a special communications channel used by the Psi Corps to communicate with their sleeper agents. And I'm thinking something like that. It's like it is a separate communications monitor and array that is built into a secret panel in my quarters or in my bunk. Oh wait, no, never mind, because we're doing that.
Open bay.
Yeah.
See, now it adds the drama.
Yep.
Mm.
I like that actually. Yeah. So it is okay. In that case, it's going to be a handheld communicator, but it's chunky enough that it's like an 80s cell phone.
Okay.
So because it has to be able to broadcast in super space, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
yeah.
a sat phone.
Yeah.
So it's like a sat phone, so anytime you enter low orbit, it just automatically updates for the last X number of whatevers, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Dope.
It's a sat phone on steroids, according to my notes.
All right, so that leaves us with Profo. What character playbook do you think you're going to take here?
Well, I was going with
The
the
hotshot?
no, I was going to go with the rebel, but I was going to go with the redeemed.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Because
all right,
I think it sort of fits my idea of the archaeologist who's in the military.
Okay. All right, cool. So for the redeemed, that's one of the backgrounds. You get +1 to savvy for that. And it says choose one of the following options that appears in your nightmares and one that gives you comfort in your dreams. The options are... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to go with the first one, which would be the screams of my probably dying enemies.
Yep. Is that
Hopefully
your
they-
nightmares
hopefully
or
they
it gives
die.
you comfort?
That would be the terror in the
Okay,
nightmares.
cool.
And the comfort, the taste of something specific, because I'm going explosives, because let's do SG-1 here in
Okay.
space.
Okay.
They blow up a lot of stuff.
I will say, if the screams of your enemies is the thing that you choose that gives you comfort, anyone who chooses that in this game or any future games, that character needs therapy. If the screams of your enemies is the thing that lulls you to sleep at night, you should...
That does sound pretty badass.
Let's get an
Keep trying to
onboard
sell it, dude.
therapist. We'll have some serious talks using I statements. Okay, so that means your starting stats are 2 in body, 0 in brains, 0 in courage, -1 in heart, and a +1 in savvy. What 2 conditions are you starting with? Actually, I think we forgot to do conditions for you, Trevor.
Oh yes, we did.
What conditions? Real quick, we'll jump backwards
Okay.
to the outsider.
So I am gonna say that I am. I'm not going to be disillusioned.
I'll be honest, I'm reading these and I love the idea of you being insecure and reckless.
I was thinking reckless, and then I was also thinking disdainful.
Okay. Okay.
It's a superiority complex
Okay.
in both cases.
I thought they'd play against like insecure. You're like, oh no, they're gonna find me out. So you have to act increasingly reckless to cover your own tracks, right?
Oh, that's
Very interesting. All right, cool. So those are your two. All right, so those are the stats for Profo. So Profo, what are your two conditions you're starting with?
Guilty. That's always a good thing because archaeologists are just legitimized grave robbers.
That's true.
Dissolution.
Yeah, right.
Dissolution, take it.
Don't know. Maybe insecure or resentful.
Resentful
probably works.
Resentful. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That is. One more thing. Your ship customization. A busy and loud place to drown out your past. A place that reminds you of the brave that are gone, or a hidden stash of survival gear and an escape route.
Yeah, sure. Hidden stash.
Okay, where is your hidden? So both of our rebels are trying to get the fuck out of here. Well, where is your hidden stash?
Would be the being the rebel thing.
Yeah, right. Where is your hidden
So
stash?
rebellious. Cargo bay by the principal airlock.
Okay, I like it. All right,
It is a sort of like an really heavy trunk that is just impossible to move.
Okay. That's just
So
always been there. It
all
looks
the
like a
rest of the
fixture of the
cargo,
ship.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
constantly been there forever. All right, we're gonna start in the same order. So we're gonna start with Melissa for our connections. So
we didn't do
Moves.
Oh shoot, your
Moves.
moves. I'm sorry. So rebel moves. What are you choosing? Aim to misbehave, jury rig, sabotage, speak truth to power, the quick and the dead, or networking.
It's me, so I have to take speak truth to power.
Okay.
Probably go quick and the dead too.
Okay, I like it.
Oh,
I
great.
Like it.
Then we picked different moves. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll start with Melissa for our connections. You fill these in with the name of the other PCs. For now, we can use player names. We haven't gone through that yet. So not everyone knows the detail. Not everyone knows the details of your past, but you decided to open up to blank. Did you like their reaction or not?
I opened up to Iquin's character, and I liked their reaction.
Okay. So Iquin, you have +1 trust. To start with, you start at 3. So Iquin just write down. You start with +1, so you start at 4. Okay. Blank doesn't have as much experience as you, but they have a lot of talent. What did they do that first caught your eye?
So that'll be Prof's character.
Okay.
And I think in like one of the prior missions did something that was great and kind of saved all of our asses, and so
Okay.
+1 to Prof's character.
So +1 trust for you, Profo. I like the idea that like Prof is kind of like the one of the newer members of the crew because like the majority of his time was spent as an archaeologist, and then he sort of maybe got drafted into it and excelled at that. All right, cool.
I have 1,000 Hawkeye Pierce style jokes about being drafted as well. So,
all right. The last connection is blank reminds you of forces you tried to fight against.
So this is a little bit of a stretch. I'm going with Meeple for this one, and it's because my character doesn't really trust those intelligence people because of something that those intelligence people did in the war that really effed stuff up for us.
Yeah.
Completely reasonable.
Yeah.
I like that. Those damn intelligence people. Okay. Absolutely. Who were we next? We were the
Iquin.
Iquin.
The gifted. All right. So Iquin, your connections are as follows. You once used your gift to help blank, but they hated your interference. Are you trying to make it up to them, or are you giving them space?
For this one, I would choose Meeple, and it was like I latched onto that. Your secret mission is to run interference, and I tried to help someone, and that fucked up parts of your mission at some point before.
Okay.
because I'm not aware of the mission, of course I will try to help someone while you were trying to like, yeah, you people killed those people, fuck, you're all bad. And I was like, no, I didn't kill them, I healed them. And it was like, fuck. That's
like that.
somewhere along those lines, but I'm envisioned. So I'm gonna put Meeple. And I think I'm trying to make it up to you because I'm not as hardcore against intelligence people. Yeah, they fucked up shit, but who didn't fuck up shit in the war?
Okay, so that's a +1 trust from wherever you were. I believe you were at 3, went to 2, now you're back up to 3.
Yep.
All right, cool. So you go to Blank to talk about your feelings.
I feel like I would go with Melissa Drather to do that. I feel like our could have been like war buddies or like at least known each other from like different units, different squadrons, but we might have run intercourse at some point and like talk to each other.
Yeah, and that matches mine because my character went and talked to you, and then you talked to my character.
So we're like something like all like Mal and Zoe, all army buddies, and that's kind of like.
I can like that. I can take that. That's very cool. All right, and then you know Blank is capable, but you sense something that makes you not trust them. What do you sense?
So I would go with Profo. He's the new one, and he seems to be like a space archaeologist. And what I don't sense is I think he's too blue-eyed. He hasn't like the feeling I get is he wasn't in the war. He hasn't seen what me and Melissa's characters seen. Like he's not there yet.
Okay. We have a term for that in the military, and we call that the FNG. Nice. It's the fucking new guy.
He's the FNG. Anyone could spot the FNG on a ship, and that's him.
I like it. All right, let's go down to the outsider. So Trevor, Blank learned a secret about you. Do you think they'll keep it to themselves, or will they share it with someone else?
I'm going to say that Melissa learned the secret about me. I'm going to say that she overheard more of a secret, of what was supposed to be a secret conversation than I had anticipated. So she knows a little bit about what I do behind the curtains.
Will she keep your secret or tell someone?
I think that she will keep it to herself because, well, frankly, I know that she used to be part of one of the rebel factions, and so we kind of have dirt on each other.
Okay. All right. So mutually assured destruction. Okay.
Yep.
So +1 trust to Melissa's character.
I know.
All right. All right. So you trusted Blank once in a pinch, and they helped you out.
That would be Propo.
Okay. That's +1 trust for you.
Yep. And so what he did was at one point I had enlisted his help to dig up some historical facts about a faction that I was intending to throw into Discord without his knowledge. And he actually gave me far more than I had originally asked for, and so my mission was particularly successful.
Okay, I like that. So +1 trust there. And you think that Blank is ignorant of how things really work in the universe and needs a babysitter.
Well, Eichwin used his gift to help me, and I just hated him for it. So there you go.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
He's like, look at this guy fucking helping everyone out here.
Yeah.
No, this guy thinks he's helping everyone. He has no fucking clue what he's doing.
Oh, man. I like that you call it, like you have a nickname for him, the Samaritan. That's good. I like that.
The Dimmeritan.
Yeah, right. All right, then let's jump over to Profo. We've seen these questions before, so we'll go through them. Not everyone knows the details of your past, but you decided to open up to Blank. Did you like their reaction or not?
I think I opened up to Trevor's character when he asked me for that particular intelligence dossier.
Did you like his reaction or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so +1 for Trevor.
Excellent.
Blank doesn't have as much experience as you, but they have a lot of talent. What did they do that first caught your eye?
I think I like Iquin's character, and
Okay.
they're very talented at what they do, and I'm open to what they did at first caught my eye. Maybe it's because they're great with the rest of the enlisted.
So +1 trust to Iquin. I love the idea that Iquin's character thinks that you're the starry-eyed new guy who's inexperienced, and you're like, that doctor, he knows his doctoring shit, but he's got a lot to learn.
So I went with it.
I like that. And Blank reminds you of forces you tried to fight against.
Well, we're only left with Melissa. Maybe we're too similar. Damn it.
Yeah. Okay, I love it. So where does everyone sit on the trust scale? We'll start with Melissa. What level of trust are you?
I need to look at the chart, but I'm at +5. I think we all are,
You're
right?
at +5?
Well, yeah, because you start with 3, and then you get 2. I got 2.
Yeah.
And,
So
and a -1. You got a -1 from Propo just now.
Oh yeah. Oh, so it's
Yeah.
4.
4.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's 4. Okay.
Woo. All right, so you are respected. You're a respected member of the crew. Okay. Iquin, where do you stand?
I did very quick math, and I think we're all at 4 because we all did the exact same circle. So I'm also at 4.
Yeah, we all good.
You sons of
We all-
bitches.
We all got +2 and -1.
Yeah,
I
we
think-
did exact same thing. So I think we're all at 4.
Hey,
don't
I
think
can't
so.
count. I added that up to 5 there.
yeah.
I've never been able to pass a maths exam in my life.
I might have been wrong. I tried to do the quick math going through it in my
Oh,
head,
you
but
did. You
I'm
all did 2 and 1. You
Mhm.
wow,
Yeah.
wow. That is yeah. You all did each other 2 and 1. That's
Yep.
fucking funny. Okay, cool. So everyone, it's a well-respected crew. Everyone respects each other. Adorable, adorable. It's the cutest little Black Ops team ever.
Hey,
No,
we're
that's
Black
the
Ops. We
FG1.
trust each other. It's everyone else that's the
It's
problem.
everyone else that's the problem. All right, cool.
Those guys
so,
we have to murder.
So I'm going to go over one more piece of character building here that we're not going to have time for like on screen, but I think it's a cool thing that this game and other Powered by the Apocalypse games does. So it actually asks you a question in your backstory. So for Melissa's character and Propo's character, the Rebel, the backstory question is, describe the cause for which you fought, including your enemies. Why did you join this fight, and what line did you cross? So I think it's a very interesting, a very cool concept of like adding to the backstory. So we won't have time to answer live, but I do want to go over them. And then for the gifted, yours is you pay a steep price for your fantastic gifts. What is that price, and how does it interfere with how you relate to your crewmates? Your gift being an exceptional doctor.
An exceptional battle medic. I can
Battle
do it
medic.
I can do it in the field. That's the exceptional part.
Yes. So what is the price you pay for that, and how does it prevent you from? How does it interfere with you relating to your crewmates? I
actually already know the answer.
I actually had a very cool idea for that, and I
Okay.
kind of want to say it to see if it's similar.
Good.
Is that you are so trained at like doctoral as like field medicine, right? Like battlefield medicine, that like a butcher who is very fine at his job, you start to see people as the incisions, the wound. This wound was here. This wound was. So you see them as less of a person and more of a collection of injuries and meat.
Of meat. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought. I thought that was a very interesting idea for how you twisted that. And the last one is the outsider. You double-crossed the wrong person, and now you have to sleep with one eye open. Who is it, and what do they want with you? Also, very good question for backstories.
Yeah.
So, by all means, feel free to answer these questions, in your own time, at your own leisure. But that is the end of our session 0. I believe that covers everything except for the creation of the captain, which
And
I
the crew.
think, and the crew. Did we not
Yep.
do the crew
And names.
first? Well,
No,
names
the
is on.
NPC crew.
Oh, right. Yes. I think we can let the rest of the patrons weigh in on that, since most of the crew is patrons now. Now that G is trying to force this into its own show. So that is what we're going to wrap
funding
up.
it. Open your wallet.
Yeah, right.
Get out your moose coin, damn it.
That is where this session 0 will end for this. So everyone think about their backstories, and we will be back for a one shot. I believe the going date is our September one shot. Will be I believe September 28th. So mark your calendars. That will be session 1 of definitely not a campaign of Starscape. So tune in for that. But for now, let's go around, do our outros, so we can get the heck out of here and discuss this session 0 in our after show. If you guys want access to the after show, it'll be over on our Patreon at the $5 tier. Please come on by and check that out. But we'll start in the same order we've been going in with Melissa. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hi everyone, Melissa Meyer, known as Draftier in the Discord and around here. I'm Mike's patron, so you can find me around here doing patron things. And I like to make fan art of Mike's worlds, and right now I'm working on a group portrait for Mundus Novus, for our Mundus Novus game.
Yeah.
And so far I've finished 2 of the characters, and that's up on my website, Games with Stories.
And they look amazing. They look absolutely amazing. Definitely go check out Games at Stories. Even if you have no context for what the art Melissa has done is, it's still very, very cool art. Like, completely apropos of the shows they belong to. It is beautiful artwork. Go check that out. From there, we'll jump over to everyone's favorite Swede. We've been nationally appointed one. This one is ours. Iquin, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Well, hello. Since G isn't here, I can say I'm your friendly neighborhood Swede and your Fika bringer. Fika, which Mike told me once. Well, you told me about Fika. I was like, yeah, I did 2 years ago, Mike.
Listen, I don't know.
Anyhow,
it was in Swedish.
I am here. I'm also a patron, so I hang around doing the Patreon one-shot. I unfortunately are not into other stuff, but I make do anyway by running my off-camera games. So I look for people in the unMadeGaming Discord looking for a group channel. If you like horror games, which I mostly do, Call of Cthulhu, I sometimes announce there when I have a new idea and want to play a game, so pitch me up. I also run the unMadeGaming Mastodon, so if you don't like the X, you can always switch over and come join us over there. And what else do? I just hang around in the Discord.
That's true. I will say, Iquin, anytime I get to game with you is my Fika.
Aww.
Shut up.
See, how do you do this?
You did it. You nailed it.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right, from Iquin, we jump over to Trevor. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Trevor, the Vitruvian Meeple. You can find me here for the Patreon one-shots. You can find me in the Discord, although sometimes I kind of push that to the side if I've got other things I'm concentrating on. So if you have stuff you need to get in touch with me for, send me a direct message or something like that. You can also find me over on my YouTube channel at Vitruvian Meeple, where we are playing a Cypher superheroes game called called The Powers That Be. The book is called Claim the Sky. We are gearing up. The last episode was called Round 1 Fight. It's the beginning of the end of this story, I think. We will be having a special session, actually, the day after tomorrow. And then again 2 weeks after that, because we have schedules, because we're all adults. That's about it.
Hell yeah. And if you would like to find Trevor on the internet outside of YouTube, go check out, I believe it's Vitruvian Meeple at dice.camp over on Mastodon. And last but not least, Profo, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
As the light goes on behind me, giving me a saintly glow. All right, Mush, I hear you like British things and Tales from the Loop. So if you haven't checked it out, you should check out unMadeGaming, which is the first episode. And you like things that are campaigns, but aren't campaigns, that kind of have a flexible schedule. So you should check out unMadeGaming on the YouTube channel of this handsome fella right here. And you can find me wherever El Profos are found. I will be working on another adventure coming to you very soon. I should really be streamlining the rules. There are some things from the Flood that I like. There are some things from Tales from the Loop I like. So it's more things from the damp, if you will, which is perfectly British. Have you seen the summer we've been having? So yeah, you find me on the Discord. I'm around.
I like that. Things from the damp.
Stories from the depressing mist.
Yeah.
Mist. We just think we are Scottish.
Things from the fog. There we go.
There you go. That is it for our session 0 of Starscape. Again, it is coming to Kickstarter. I want to say the 9th, which is Tuesday. Right? That's how math works. Tuesday. Go check that out. There is currently a campaign of this being run over on the Happy Jacks Network. Go check that out. And let them know that you heard of them from us. And go check it all out. Follow the Kickstarter. Very cool game. And a little birdie told me that there may be a campaign of this actually coming in possibly August. So who knows? That's it from us. We will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed this. From all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.